Whoops. We're back.
Oh my gosh, we're back. Whoops.
Don't worry about it. You weren't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
I always forget when we're back.
You have to go back and watch the episode.
Back. Welcome everyone to another episode of Twitching UpStream, which is apparently, we found this out before the show, this is Dylan's favorite show that comes out on Tuesdays.
Yeah, sure.
Especially around 4 p.m. Mountain Time. 6 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, welcome back. If you know us, hey, hi. If you don't know us, my name is Zach. This is Dylan over here. We're Some Nobodies. We are content creators. We like to make a bunch of weird shit. We like to put our minds to the grindstone and see what juice pulps out of it, and then we take that juice and freeze it into like a story mold and put it in a freezer when it comes out, it's like, what's this? Okay, it's cool. That's what
cool. Yes, we can.
Anyway, yeah, so we just make up a bunch of weird stuff, and we have a show called Talking UpStream where we find our favorite creators and then we interview them. We find out why they make what they make, how they make what they make, and we pitch them ideas, and it's cool. And we have 50 some episodes of that over on our YouTube channel. But we made up so much stuff that we decided to have another show where we just kind of keep working on the same thing and just see how it works out until it's fully finished. We take some of our favorite stuff and just kind of tweak it and twiddle it and poke and prod it until it's something cool.
Yeah.
Before we get that going, though, I always have some kind of weird nerd stuff or news stuff or something I like to chat with Dylan because he is, and I'm on record now, he is my best friend.
Yeah. Well.
And for the people talking or watching, I'm sorry, Dylan wins it.
Yeah.
But, we make up a lot of stuff. And sometimes we see trailers for things. It's like, oh, shit, we kind of already made up that idea. But obviously, they were probably working on it for years. But I was curious. We never really talk about this on, the show. But, with so many products and projects coming back out now that, like the theater's opening back up, things are kind of popping. We have a lot more content to work on. So I was curious about your predictions of some upcoming things to kind of see like what you're expecting out of this stuff, what you were hoping for, if you're interested at all. So I kind of put together 5 of what I think are like the next biggest things that come out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of get your viewpoint. So first off, obviously Kenobi, 3 episodes out, 3 episodes left. I think it was probably the most anticipated Star Wars show. For a while.
People have been talking about a Kenobi like interquel for a very long time, and it was going to be a movie. Now it's not.
And honestly, it probably should have been because you could tell that there was a little bit of filler in there. But I like the storyline they're telling. I don't like how they put it out exactly, but I like the idea of Obi-Wan and a young Leia, having a weird adventure together. I think that's kind of cool. So I was curious what you think, or I guess I'll go with what you think they're going to try to achieve with the next 3 episodes.
I think Obi-Wan has to use his lightsaber in a fight.
Oh, yeah.
More lightsaber. I don't know. I think everybody expected this one to focus on Darth Maul because all of the extra stuff has really built up the Darth Maul Obi-Wan connection to the point where it was resolved in Rebels. With one of the best lightsaber fights of the entire series. Exactly how a lightsaber fight should go. 3 strikes, someone's dead.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Unsheath, you hit, you clash twice, and then you get a hit because it doesn't take much. I have I have strong opinions on Star Wars sometimes, but I honestly don't know. I mean, clearly Leia's going to get inducted into the Alliance. We're going to get so much backstory on Leia that it's going to be like she had one important day 20 years ago, and then she is in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Just like Solo. I'm unimpressed with Obi-Wan Kenobi so far.
Yeah, and that's fair. But the one thing I'm really curious about, they're like they cast, Hayden Christensen. So either you get Vader, which people love, people like a good Vader.
Yeah.
Or you get either an Iron Man style behind the screens.
Oh God.
Hayden Christensen.
Sure.
Or you get flashbacks, Hayden Christensen, or you get dream sequence, Anakin.
I wonder if we're going to get Force Ghost Anakin briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, dream sequence Anakin, like alternate what if he didn't fall Anakin?
Well, so in the comics, there's a really good run of the Darth Vader comic where Anakin has these crazy nightmares where he sees himself as just like this kind of black void. And then there's this, beautiful blue butterfly that kind of comes in and out, whatever. But he has these crazy just nightmares and kind of visions where he's doing certain things. And I'm just curious, like, why cast Hayden Christensen if you're not going to hear his voice and you're not going to see him? Also, my question really is Leia's robot? Is this thing some kind of foreshadow? Is this a Chekhov's gun? Why is this robot in there? It's not cute enough to be like the robot. It doesn't do anything yet. So...
toys.
No, I think they would need to be like a character. It could be like Leia with that thing, but I don't know.
They've made Star Wars toys of weirder stuff, and I know you own a few of them.
Don't even look behind me. That's true. Yeah. Either way, obviously, I'm gonna watch it. I don't know.
I'll watch it too, but
I like it. I like anything Star Wars.
Out of a sense of completion, it's just content at this point, which is unfortunate because you really could have done like a good service to the character of Obi-Wan, where you're like, this is the kind of mindset of a dude who watched his entire society turn its back on him, and in turn he turned his back on his religion effectively, and he could have done some really cool, in my opinion. I know this isn't what Star Wars is now, but a really good character piece, and we're getting a reluctant father figure escorting a child somewhere safe.
Yeah, a very cute, tiny little thing with pseudo powers. Also, so I completely forget where I was going to go with that. But anyway, all right. So I'm excited about it. I want to see it. But in the books, it was cool because like Obi-Wan and Owen in the books were brothers. So it was interesting that Obi-Wan brought up his brother in the last episode. So I was curious if that was going to be something.
Wait, Obi-Wan and Owen Lars?
So in the original story, Owen Lars was Obi-Wan's brother. So
makes more sense than sending
a
Vader's
Skywalker
kid
to a
live with
Skywalker
his family. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Even if it's on a planet he never wants to go to.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, I'm excited to see possibly Qui-Gon Jinn. What do you think about that?
I hope so. That's what I want. Like I really liked Liam Neeson as that character. I did read the novelizations of the original 3 trilogies, or the original the episodes 1, 2, and 3, and I always thought that Qui-Gon's like pseudo adherence and rebelliousness was a really interesting trait for a Jedi who was that good at being a Jedi.
Yeah, and definitely.
I would like to see him return in some form.
I agree, and they led up to Qui-Gon being like one of the first or the most recent gray Jedis, which is cool, and also that he knew how to do it. So I'm expecting to see him in the very last episode. Okay, so a show that comes out tomorrow, and I know you don't know a lot about this. This isn't really a property that you know a lot about, but Miss Marvel's coming out on Disney Plus tomorrow. And a little bit of backstory on Miss Marvel. Obviously, Kamala Khan, nice little Muslim girl. She is an Inhuman, and she gets the powers, the ability to stretch and to morph her body. And she becomes quite powerful and really just a big fan favorite. And I was super stoked to see, this character come into
Mhm.
possibly the MCU. But also, since you have a Reed Richards floating around in like the metaverse, and you know that he's going to pop up eventually, you can't really give Kamala Khan the cool stretchy powers first.
Mhm.
So they kind of nerfed her powers a little bit, gave her these bracelets, and now she can just kind of
It's energy projection.
energy project. Like she can step on it, she can force it around.
I Go ahead.
So my only hope for this, right? Here's my only hope. It's that inside these bracelets that she has is the Terrigen crystal, right?
Okay.
And at some point, hopefully close to the end, they break the crystal
Mhm.
and it gives her her actual powers. Then they can talk about Inhumans. Because right now, Black Bolt just came back kind of in the MCU. So there still is a hope for
for
the
sure.
Inhumans.
It was great to see him for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I really like Black Bolt. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Black Bolt. I mean, especially in the comics, not so much in the show Inhumans, but in this he was real cool
I didn't bother.
Don't. Are you expecting anything on the show? Are you going to watch this? Is this something that's geared for you?
Again, I'll probably watch it out of completion's sake.
Mhm.
I know very little about Miss Marvel.
Mhm.
Yeah. I wonder how much the budget factored into the idea of making her an energy projection hero instead of stretchy, because even movies with hundreds of millions of dollars of budget have a really hard time rendering a good looking stretchy effect.
Yeah, true.
As bad as that movie was, Fanforstic looked good when he was stretching around. Better than the original did.
Yeah.
Better than it had any right to look. And I think they knew better than to attempt it on a TV show.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna like it. I'm expecting some kind of Captain Marvel pop in. So either Carol Danvers or Maria Rambeau. I'm not really sure.
It's probably gonna be Rambo.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know if hey, maybe
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. Sorry. I don't know. Maybe Brie Larson will show up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's the biggest name they've gotten in these TV shows? They got Nick. No, they got Sam Jackson in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, Tom Hiddleston had Loki.
Tom Hiddleston was in Loki.
I mean, you have Captain America. He had, or Sam Wilson. Anthony Mackie, I think
Anthony Mackie's
he's a pretty big deal.
Big name. Oscar Isaac. I think Oscar Isaac's the biggest one they've had so far.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, he's the big thing right now.
He's the big thing.
He was Duke Leto. No.
Okay, so we're actually seeing Jurassic World.
Dominion.
Dominion?
Yes.
Jurassic Park, the Dom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna see this on
Dinosaur Doms.
Dinosaur Doms. We're gonna see this on Thursday.
Yeah.
Now, a quick recap of what these movies were about, right? So the first one was pretty much a knockoff of the original one.
Dinosaurs get out and eat people.
Dinosaurs break out of their pins, eat people in front of a Margaritaville.
Science bad. Dinosaurs eat people.
Science bad, money good.
Blue and orange color grading. Run from a T-Rex in heels.
Yep.
Velociraptor's my best friend.
Yeah. Also, sometimes T-Rex will help you out. Sometimes
they nod at each other like
the
end of Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay, and then the second one was okay. Now the second one was, hey, there's a volcano coming.
Yep.
We messed up. We created a whole bunch of creatures that are going to die. Should we spend money to get them?
Yes,
right?
They do.
But then, yeah, they do kind of. And dinosaurs are now in the world, right? They're just in the world.
Yeah.
And also humans are cloned.
Yes.
And also John Hammond had a partner.
Yeah, don't worry about that. He gets smothered by a telephone pillow.
Boy, but he was there the whole time.
And then science bad, more overtly this time because the scientist from the first one, BD Wong, is the villain. Like,
well, that's like the first one. Yeah. Yeah,
Well, in the second one too, he's like, "We're making another goddamn military dinosaur. I love it."
And then so now we have a volcano that kind of wiped out the majority of dinosaurs, except the flying ones, I guess, or the swimming ones. And then we also have that little girl who's a clone.
Well, because they brought all the dinosaurs over and kept them in the basement of the house. they were selling dinosaurs for like $10 million. It's like, you can ask for 10 times that price and people will pay it.
Yeah.
You don't need to. That's cheap. That feels really cheap for dinosaurs. But I have no concept of what expensive sounds like for rich people. So
that's true.
But yeah, she's like, the moral quandary of that movie seemed to be, should we let cloned animals die?
Yeah.
Should we let cloned humans die? And the answer is very clearly no. You don't need to ask that question. The answer is no, we shouldn't let them die because they are living. It's like, it is like asking, are children born from in vitro fertilization human? And the answer is very much like, it's a very 90s quandary.
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
Is cloning bad? Does cloning remove the value of life? No.
No, it doesn't. Okay, now what is this? What is this last one going to be about?
I mean, okay, so based on the trailer, Chris Pratt, I couldn't remember his character's name, Crispy Rat, and BDH, Bryce Dallas Howard, BDH. They live in Montana, where it's snowy, and he's a dinosaur rancher, and Blue has a baby. And they run around, and Blue gets kidnapped, and the baby gets kidnapped, and Blue goes up to Chris Pratt and is like, "Give me my baby back," and he goes, "Oh, okay." And then they have some adventures. And Chris Pratt does that to dinosaurs a lot.
Yeah,
2 at a time.
Yeah, good crosswalk guy.
Good trailer shots. All about it. Dinosaurs attack some people. There's a scene on some ice where they fight a dinosaur with a taser and a knife. They have tasers and a knife. The dinosaur doesn't, but who knows at this point? Maybe the dinosaur gets a knife and he's got, T-Rex has tiny little arms. He's got a knife in one of them.
Is there any way this is a good movie will end with Blue looking at somebody and just saying, "No"? And then it turns into like Planet of the Apes. Where do you go with the series?
So I've been saying since the first one, when the flying dinosaurs escaped at the end of the first one, I was like, they have biological systems not adapted to our ecology. There needs to be what they did in Planet of the Apes, where a dinosaur disease wipes out like 60% of humanity. So that way, when dinosaurs repopulate the mainland, it becomes a semi-post-apocalyptic, like, you're scavenging through the ruins of San Diego, and you hear, something flickers in the distance. And it's a pack of velociraptors, and you have a bunch of, like, post-apocalyptic, like, people with bolt-action rifles pulled up in, like, an old pharmacy, waiting for people with Jeeps to ride up while they're being stalked by raptors. It's a great idea. Instead, I think this is just going to be, like, dinosaurs versus motorcycles.
Actually,
that's what the trailer makes
it.
That's what the trailer makes it look like. I'm
just curious what they're doing with it.
I'm really trying to divorce myself from the idea that this is an intelligence series, and we're just moving straight on into like Fast and Furious schlock.
Oh, cool! I need to see a dinosaur driving a motorcycle, speaking, or having some sort of job. Those are my things. Whether it's a half human, half dinosaur cloned hybrid, or a dinosaur that has other dinosaurs in its employ, or starting to speak. That's the only way I think this can go.
When Blue looks at Chris Pratt and is like, the entire world has become our Jurassic Park world dominion.
Yeah. Or at the very end, Blue's like, "Welcome to Human Park."
Dude, just completely flip it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
This is.
It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, it'll make $1.4 billion worldwide, and they'll announce another trilogy directed by Colin Trevorrow, and it's gonna have a different overly tan white couple as the main characters.
Hell yeah!
It's gonna be like Tom Holland and Anya Taylor-Joy. No, she's
Yep.
too artsy. She's too artsy now.
She's very white though.
She is very white. I was trying to think of who's like a super white, like any of the girls from Euphoria. I don't watch Euphoria. I don't know who any of them are.
So sad.
That I don't watch it or the show is.
Both.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Or the show.
I'm not the demographic. But it's going to be another trilogy, and it's probably going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Maybe they go to space. That'll be great.
Time is space.
It's
I mean, they're cold-blooded.
Back in the 1960s, we experimented shooting dinosaur embryos to the moon. And
Yeah.
70 years later, the dinosaur embryos have evolved, and now they're coming back to take the planet they originally lost. And it's like Iron Sky, but it's dinosaurs invading, Nazi dinosaurs invading from the moon.
I love that.
The Tyrannosaurus Reich. A T-Rex trying to do the little Bellamy salute.
I was gonna do. We knew they were cold-blooded. We didn't know how cold. Dinosaurs just on the moon, just in space. Okay, the next one I want to talk to you about is Nope. Now, Nope coming out pretty soon next month, and obviously we're huge fans of Jordan Peele. Huge fans of smart humor or smart horror.
I need to see Us.
You do. It's a good movie. Good soundtrack. Now, Nope, as we saw, is pretty much like these. I guess they have like a movie stage or like a stunt crew. They're horse people.
They're Hollywood horse ranchers. My assumption is that they do rodeos and stuff. They train horses so that studios can rent horses out for their productions. It's cool.
And then we see at some point like the electricity's coming out, and then people get sucked up into a cloud, and also we see a lot of
shadows in the sky.
We see some sky shadows. We see a person in their veil flies up, and they have maybe like
they live face.
They live face, yeah. So and you were the one that told me that that Nope is an anagram.
I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but I've seen people point out that Nope could potentially spell not of planet Earth.
Yeah, so then it's aliens. But if we have that weird feral ghoul hanging around, what do you think this movie's about?
Social commentary delivered through sci-fi concept.
Oh God, I hate you. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right. Lightyear. Now, we got into a bit of a conversation about this in the theater the other day about what this movie is about. And I think this movie's playing 4D chess with my brain.
Okay.
But all that we really know is that Chris Evans is playing Buzz Lightyear, and he's on a mission, and he's got a cat, and something goes wrong, and also Zurg's there. What do you think? What do you think this is about?
I think the story of the movie is that a dude they get crash landed on an alien planet. He goes up in a test flight to try and like prove that they can escape, goes through a time rift, comes back 50 years later. They have to figure out what to do about that. Now on a meta level, what Lightyear is, I think this is the movie in the Toy Story universe that Buzz Lightyear, the character, the toy, is based off of. It's the equivalent of going out and buying someone like the only thing that comes to mind, John Wick action figure. But this is the movie that the toy is based on inside the Toy Story universe. It's the movie that Andy the kid would have watched that made him want a Buzz Lightyear action figure.
Okay, so this is an in-universe movie.
Yes.
Not about a real astronaut in the Toy Story universe.
I don't think so. I think it's too fantastical for that.
I love that. I love that for you. I'm super excited about that. I love Pixar for the most part, especially their part ones of things. And I think that this is a cool concept if they pull it off right. It looks beautiful.
It looks
so good.
Not just animation style. I like the visual design of everything. The suits, the exosuits are that kind of like clunky practical effect. They look like the Mjolnir suits from Halo a little bit.
Yeah.
The robots look kind of like pulpy sci-fi. I like the look of all the design. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
I'll go see it at some point.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is like what Pixar does now is they've actually created a digital fabric, and they can actually sew the clothes together, and that's how it has that fabricy, clunky look to it.
Sure,
Because they gave it its own weight that has different weight than the human body. But
good
all
for
right, so
them.
let's get into what we do on this show, which is content creation. So first, obviously, we got to thank our Patreon members and all of our friends and friends, all of our friends out there. I was gonna say family and fans. I don't know how many fans we have. Blue Shirt Nick, I think, is sleeping.
Yeah.
But obviously, Rit Flanagan, thank you very much. Sarah DeKachik, Tanya Sheck, our East Coast friends. If you're bored with content creation, you want some interviews, go check out either Jeff Dwoskin or Scott Curtis. Those guys are almost as funny as we are.
Yeah.
But they have good interviews.
Yes.
So check that out. All right, Dylan Terry.
Yes.
Where do we leave off, and what we gotta get done?
So we're working on an idea from season 2, episode 10 of Talking Upstream, featuring Jack Barth. The idea was that a washed-up stock car racer drinks some cursed corn whiskey given to him by an Appalachian witch, goes back in time to the 1920s, gets a job as a driver for bootleggers during Prohibition, accidentally boot starts NASCAR in some way.
Yeah, stock car racing. Yeah.
Yeah. Real light, kitschy kind of popcorn time travel feel good movie. Probably PG-13, starring Bo Burnham
Mm-hmm.
and Jenny Lewis and a few other mild named people. A lot of green, a lot of trees, a lot of like dirt roads and people driving down them. Tommy guns, maybe. The main conflict is going to be some low key violence, maybe, but comedic tone. So yeah, we started off with our little like very loose outline we developed when Mr. Barth was on our show. We've gone through and literally just done an outline where it is, and then,
Mm-hmm.
because of that, he then, etc.
Nice.
So far, what we start in a bar, modern day. The manager finds a main character drinking instead of racing because he's recently undergone some pretty serious losses. Goes home to their partner. Partner is telling him to move out. Packs up his project car because he has an old beater car that he's repairing. Leaves for the bar because he has nowhere else to go. Stops by the sponsor's place, can't get in. Goes to the bar. Bar won't let him in. Almost hits a herd of deer. Driving skills get him through because he's still got it, baby, when it counts. Finds himself at an old distillery. The bartender, they hit it off. He gets mopey and angry. And then she offers him one more drink on the house. Special vintage. Turns out it's like time travel whiskey. Leaves, drives off into the foggy night, wakes up. Amish person's knocking on the window. He's like, when did I get to Lancaster? Drives into town, pretty quickly realizes that he's gone back in time to the 1920s because he knows the town he lives in and it looks different than it did. He goes to his house, doesn't exist. Goes to his grandfather's house, doesn't exist. Sign says the land was sold. Meets his great-grandfather, doesn't recognize him, but likes him. Helps him out a little bit, gets him on his feet, sobers him up a little bit. He's like, if you're looking to drink, like, it's illegal right now, but the old general store, they do some shady dealings out of their back room. Gets a job playing modern music for him. We do a little bit of, that gag where it's your, hey, is this Mumford? It's your buddy.
Yeah.
Johnny Mumford. Marcus, listen. Or like, Billy, it's your cousin. Chuck Joel. We do that stuff.
Yeah. Whatever song we can get the rights to.
It's inevitable. He works at the speakeasy for a little bit, tries to find out how he time traveled or what's even going on. Notices the place serves liquor out of the back room. He somehow gets roped into being a driver for them, like a delivery driver in the region, because they have a distillery in the back room. So they're like, hey, if you can drive, you want to drive for us? He goes, yeah, I do. That's what I do. And they're like, what do you mean that's what you do? He goes, I drive. And they go, I don't understand. It's the 1920s. What do you mean you drive? And he goes, let me show you. So he does, and they do. The law intervenes. We meet. I mean, maybe the antagonist is like a Pinkerton man looking for these prohibitionists. Guy Pearce from
Guy Pearce
Unlawful,
movies. Sure.
Breaking the Law, whatever that Prohibition movie is with Tom Hardy. Legendary?
No.
Unlegendary.
Unlawful.
Unlegendable.
Probably.
Illegible.
Illegible.
It's about a man who forgets how to write. And
Like,
he triumphs
damn
over
it, can
adversity.
he drive?
But he winds up in Florida, winds up influencing the stock car races, which go out of bootleggers wanting to race him. Kind of invents sponsorship because he's like, hey, I drive around a lot. You want people to find your business? Put it on the side of my car. Pay me a little bit. And that's kind of where we left off. We left off kind of in the fun and games portion of the script, where he's still enjoying things. And we need things to start getting dark. We need something bad to happen to really push him into like the bad part of this. We need him to second guess what he's doing.
Yeah. Now we talked about, did we have some questions that we wanted to figure out at this or no?
Mm-mm.
All right. Do you want to maybe bring up your bullet points or
I'll take a look at, let's take a look at the beat sheet.
Yeah, the beat sheets. Yeah.
Yeah. This movie doesn't call for anything structurally too unusual. We're not trying to be avant-garde with this. This is a fun popcorn movie. We're looking to make our budget back, get everybody a nice little check, have fun doing it, make something that people will enjoy. Not much of a message, unless of course you want the message to be that the federal government shouldn't prohibit substances that people can have without harming others. If we want, we might bring up marijuana prohibition.
Okay.
If we want to have some sort of surface layer message we want to put out there, we don't have to. But so this right here is kind of like the beat sheet that I generally operate off of is from Jeffrey Calhoun's book, The Successful Screenwriter. And it's a modification of the beat sheet from the book Save the Cat, which is the super introductory, like everybody's first writing book for screenwriting. So in the Save the Cat segment, we're on pages 30 to 55.
Okay.
Fun and games. The main characters, this is Neo entering the construct where Morpheus teaches him how to jump, how to fight. This is all the fun stuff where he's like, I'm having a really good time. Life is great. This is never going to change, and I'm never going to have a bad day again. Except the midpoint.
All right. So is this when he gets into street racing because he's making money like delivering alcohol, or is this when he starts like or this is probably when he just starts like running a lot of alcohol back and forth and like beating the cops, right?
Yeah. He realizes he's a better driver than probably anybody currently alive in this era.
Yeah.
But then the midpoint happens, and we realize that it's not all fun and games. This is when Neo goes to the Oracle, and she says, "You're not the one. Sorry, kid. You're not destined to save the universe." It kind of brings him a little bit back down to the ground.
Okay, so I'm assuming that what's going to happen is something has to happen to either his family or his friends due to their actions, right? So maybe the driver, our main character, like outruns the cops so many times, and this is old times for cops.
Yeah,
back when cops were like not the greatest. You know what I mean?
3 days ago,
roughly 0 days
ago.
Oh,
this morning. Okay.
Yeah, anytime before 0 days ago. But let's just say like they found out where this person lives, but they can't catch him, so they just burn that place down, right? And that's like his family's house and maybe all the backup of the alcohol. So that now he's losing his job, both jobs, and his closest people are really upset with him. Right? Is that seem?
So I'm gonna look up real quick who investigated Prohibition. I keep saying the Pinkerton men, but that's because they were the They were the initial like version of the FBI.
No, you're thinking about what's that guy from the Untouchables?
Elliot Ness.
Yeah, wasn't he the dude?
Apparently the Bureau of Prohibition.
Well, who was like the main
enforced.
one though? There was like the main one.
It's under the Department of Justice.
Okay. What did Elliot Ness do?
Elliot Ness busted mafia people.
For
Organized crime.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was specifically because of alcohol, but
yeah.
Probably
not.
apparently they were just agents for the Bureau of Prohibition.
Yeah, we'll probably create one main bad.
But I think at this point they've kind of triangulated where all the booze is coming from to this small town, and so they've shown up and like gotten a room at the general store or like the tavern or whatever you have at that the local flop house.
Yeah.
And it's like, there are agents in town. They're going to be paying attention to people who seem like they know what's up. And maybe he starts experiencing the reality of living in the 1920s. Maybe he gets a toothache and he's like, where's the dentist in town? And they're like, dentist. He's like, yeah, or he gets like a tooth broken and he doesn't have a dentist to go, and it's not convenient to have health care.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Yeah. We could definitely touch on some weird 1920 stuff. Because most likely he's going to be kind of arrogant and get into fights, whether it's from racing and beating somebody and get into a fight. But yeah, I like the tooth cracked thing. And he goes like to a dentist and it's like, all right, we just got to chip it out.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want whiskey or leather? I guess you can't have leather because you can't bite down if you're going to have your tooth knocked out.
But time travel like consequences.
Yeah.
The 1920s.
Maybe he has like
as great as you thought.
So if he has some sort of ailment that wouldn't prohibit him from having a job as NASCAR, but something where he would need modern medicine to continue to take, that would be something that we probably could, mess around with.
I mean,
like if he's diabetic.
Diabetic.
Yeah.
I was thinking insulin. It was discovered in 1921, which is what I just found out. So that's a good one. That could be that's a real ticking clock.
Yeah.
Like he has it has to be refrigerated, doesn't it?
Yeah. And
that's not a long clock then.
And I like the idea of a time travel movie where the person does not want to come back, but they have to, and it's really just for their medical reasons. I think that's kind of interesting.
If we go the diabetic route, I think that might be too restrictive because you need like 2 insulin shots a day minimum.
Yeah.
And it has to be refrigerated.
Oh, okay.
So I like it. I think that's a good idea. It's something to keep in mind for another time travel thing or something.
Maybe he just has like one of those irregular heart palpitations where he takes like that nitroglycerin.
I mean, they have nitroglycerin back then. I don't know if it's medical grade, but he has some. I like the idea of medical issues causing trouble with like what he can't stay. He probably can't stay here unless he wants to die young. Like yeah. Health issues.
Maybe he has maybe he has like HIV or something.
We could do that
because like it wasn't even then back then.
No, it didn't. As far as we know, it didn't exist. Like,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, the government didn't create it till the mid '80s, I think.
Hey.
Hold on. Oh.
I mean, Ronald Reagan was alive at the time.
Well, I know.
Do we want to show him murdering a 10-year-old Ronald Reagan? No, we don't.
No, because he would have been bad at 10. He'd have been like an aspiring actor.
Maybe.
I mean, he was an actor at 17, so I would assume.
Was he really?
Yeah. Ronald Reagan was an actor. He's a cowboy. Okay.
Ronald Reagan, the actor?
Yes, he was an actor. Yeah.
I know. I'm doing a Back to the Future bit.
Sonny and Cher, I hope they never break up.
Listen, I don't know. I don't care what Sonny Bono did, but so yeah, after like the pinch, the bad guys start to show up again. So I think this is when the Bureau of Prohibition is like, we've seen a huge increase in the amount of hooch going around this region,
Mhm.
and we've traced it back to this small town at the base of the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say that happens, and then also like, so if there's a scene or two where it's a close chase and the FBI agent, the prohibition agent recognizes our main character's car, right? So they're like looking around or whatever, and then maybe they see like the tail of the car sticking out of that one place one time, and they're like, "This is it." Because I do like, because I know that they would do that, like in Prohibition time, they would come and just like smash all the liquor, you know,
Yep.
or possibly set fire to the place, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they should do that.
okay, cool.
I think this at this point, like they notice the car. MC thinks things are cool, playing music in the speakeasy. Then the prohibition agents break in and burn the place down. I mean, yeah, they just straight up like come and smash the place up.
Yeah, I mean, they like talk to him. They go, "Hey, we know you're the one," and he's like, "Nah, it ain't me." It's like, "Well, that's your car out there." It's like, "Nah, it ain't mine." It's like, "I didn't got to talk to you, copper." It's like, "Who do you think we are?" You do, and they like beat the shit out of him. And he's like,
yeah, I think they completely upend all his entire settled kind of like status quo. They take him, they imprison him. Yeah.
Yep. And then also like his family or the group that makes the alcohol was really upset with him because, you know, if they don't have this money, how are they going to get to nationals? So, you know, they got to get to nationals. So everyone's mad at him, and so he has to. So now he's on 2 clocks, right? I was going to say what's up?
What if his great grandfather ran the general store, and early on they make one reference to like, well, you know, your grandpa never had much of a high opinion of the government, and it's because he's the one responsible for getting his great grandfather arrested and beaten / killed by prohibition agents, and then that's the reason his grandfather, who's his kid, dislikes the government.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
So, and that's like the dark night of the soul or something like that. That's the low point where it's like they don't kidnap him, they kidnap his great grandfather.
Yeah, and they, you know, kill the family, burn the place down, the majority of the place down.
Yeah.
Obviously they rebuild it back somewhat, but
they burn the general store / speakeasy. I think the town is. They're not going to wipe the town off the map.
No.
Yeah.
I just meant the building. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have this character who is in jail, who needs some medical attention. We haven't really figured out what the medical attention is yet, but also has this innate feeling that they need to make up for what they've done, right?
Yeah.
So they have to decide. Well, they still haven't figured out how to, if they want to go back in time, how to go back in time, but also now they're just trying to make up for the family thing that he did.
Yeah, and he's in prison. Mm-hmm. It's the 1920s, so I don't think Miranda rights have been a thing yet.
Nah.
I think the Miranda rights were in like the 80s. They're not like, they're recent. 66. So the cops can just kind of like, you're in prison.
Yeah, they're in prison.
Bummer. And he's like, I can't spend the rest of my life in a 1920s jail. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to.
How did they break out of jail?
Good question.
Yeah, that is
because my first thought was, my initial thought was that he can go back in time accidentally and then has to go back to fix it. I don't like that very much, but that was my initial one. Now maybe, so he has the knowledge of now. So what would be something? So either
if
he pulls off like a movie lawyer move, or because I like when people use like some kind of current pop culture thing to get them out of trouble in the past. You know, he's like a mentalist. Or
what if all of his other prohibition car buddies arrive at the jail with their cars and chains, and all of them like loop the chains through the bars in the window, and then we have the scene where they get in the car and they go, 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 go. And all the cops chase all the racers. And we have that big final action car chase. And it's like, where are we going? And he goes, and he's like, the distillery. I have to get the hell out of here. Take me down this country road towards this old distillery by the woods, and there's nothing out here, and then it becomes like a final stand at the distillery.
Cool. So it's like a 1920s style gun shootout with like liquor bottle bombs.
Yeah.
And they're all just trying to get to this distillery. So he gets there. Okay, so what happens?
I mean, I assume at this point he meets up with Witch. I mean, is it that easy or
no? I feel like he's got to
Okay.
meet up with the witch at least one time before.
At least one time before. I think at some point. I think when he goes to the town and realizes what era he's in, I think he drives back out to the distillery and is like, "Hey, what did you do?" I think he knows pretty much, kind of like, what is happening. But we do have a comment from Red Flanagan in the chat. Distilleries are excellent places to have explosions, and he's right. I mean, I think we do have a big action scene, like a holdout at the distillery.
I like that, and I maybe like I don't want to say like the witch dies, but maybe they're not there, and so he's like just chugging a bunch of different kind of whiskey because he doesn't know exactly which one it is. No.
Have you seen Mr. Destiny? With the other Belushi and Michael Caine and Linda Hamilton?
The baseball movie? Yeah.
Baseball alternate universe, like Scrooged movie.
Sure.
It ends with him oh wow, this is Back to the Future meets Mr. Destiny. That's okay. This happens with ideas. But at the end of the movie, he like gets in a car chase with the cops, goes back to the bar, and just drinks random stuff out of the taps trying to recreate it. And then maybe it was all in his head.
Oh, wow.
It's okay. Nobody except me remembers Mr. Destiny.
I remember Mr. Destiny.
Only because I brought it up.
Well, I knew what it was when you did bring it up.
I know, anyway. But I think we avoid the thing where he's randomly drinking stuff.
Yeah, and also there's no baseball in this. So it's exactly the opposite. So it doesn't drink stuff at the end. So we just need... All right, so at one point he goes back to the witch and tries to go back in time, and maybe she just tells him how to do it, and he's like, maybe she's like, well, if you want to go back here, you could just drink this, but you got to ask yourself, like, do you actually want to go back?
Yeah,
and maybe he like questions it for a little bit, and then that's like when he starts like making mad $19-20 and having a good time, racing people. Getting in like low level trouble, but like the fun kind of trouble.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of him going back, and she's like, I mean, you can really go back anytime you want, but you gotta want to.
Yeah,
because like, I don't want to yet. This is great.
Yeah, I think it's an easy trope when like the witches or whatever the curse is like, we don't know how to go back. You're not allowed to go back. It's like, well, that's dumb.
Yeah, you can't go back until you've learned something.
Yeah. No, send him back now. All right. So yeah, huge fight out, and the only reason he is maybe not going back right away is because like kids there or something.
Is there a girl?
What?
Or a love interest? Because you want to stay there?
No, I think it's got something to do with like his family. I think that's cooler. Unless he falls in love with a witch.
I mean, he could. I'm fine with that.
I think they sounded like they were probably hot.
Jenny Lewis. Yeah. She's cute.
Oh, yeah. All right. So he like... so he goes to the distillery trying to get the way back. And then so she starts maybe telling him like about the town and about how the 20s are a cooler place, especially for drivers. And maybe they just like have a couple of drinks in the distillery that isn't like the time travel stuff. And they just kind of fall in love. And, and then when he goes back, he's like, well, will I see you? And she's like, well, yeah, but it'll be 100 years ago for me, that kind of thing.
I do like that. There's a diversion which leads the cops away from the distillery.
The town dam broke.
Oh, I figured the race car drivers usually all swap-a-roo where they disperse and the cops have to choose one.
No, I was kidding. I didn't really think of dam bursts.
Main character of the distillery has a drink with the witch. They realize they're smitten, but it probably won't work out. After all, she's hundreds of years old.
And out of his league.
And he's not. And she's out of his league. But future version of her almost certainly remembered this.
Mm-hmm. And did that shit on purpose.
So she's willing to give it a try. Does she just send him back? She's like, you came to find me. You clearly want to go back. You got to get that tooth taken care of. You look like a hick.
Yep.
His front tooth is like broken off.
Yep.
Willing to give it a try.
And he's beating the shit by the cops. He's got like a shot in his leg or something.
She tells him to look her up in the future after he's had his tooth fixed. He goes back to the future.
She's a vain witch.
She's like, "What? I like my men with all their teeth."
Yeah. He's like, you don't have all of your teeth.
Am I not allowed to like what I like?
I like what I like. Let me be.
And we end with him making a dentist appointment. We don't have to see them hook up in the future. We just get the impression that he's going to better himself.
Yeah.
And the way we see him start the long road towards sobriety and better racing and personal improvement is making a dentist appointment.
Are we going to do one of those are we going to do one of those weird jokes at the end where like the dentist is like, "So you want Novocaine, or you want to do it how we used to do it in a shot of old-fashioned corn whiskey?" And then the guy looks at the camera and is like,
credits roll.
Gotcha.
I really like this ending. I think. I
like it. I've never seen that before, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I think this kind of wraps up this project, right? I mean, what we got to do now, which we're going to do this off screen, is kind of do more character development, script writing, kind of find some cool scenes,
real actual like tight writing on this.
Yeah,
this is a fun one.
This is a very fun one. We'll put this down in the bullet points to really kind of hash this out. So if you want to see some weird stuff that we make, please go find us anywhere. Look up Some Nobodies. Go to our YouTube channel, go to our website, find us on any social media, really. Just type in Some Nobodies. If you have an old flip phone that may or may not work, or you happen to have one of those cool electronic pump shoes from the late 90s, just type in Some Nobodies. And I'll tell you, you find something that we made because we've been making stuff for 35 years now.
Feels like it sometimes.
It definitely does feel like it some days. Anyway, once again, special thanks to Red Flanagan, Tanya Sheck, Sarah Tkachuk, Scott Curtis, Jeff Dwoskin. If you want some cool stuff, obviously we have a Patreon where what's up?
Red Flanagan.
I said Red Flanagan first.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, and also Blue Flanagan.
I'll say it. Blue Shoe Nick, Red Flanagan.
Nick. Yeah.
Ideally, they never meet, or the explosion will be catastrophic.
Yeah, I think that's true. Our chat will blow up, which would be good, but also awful. But yeah, we have a Patreon. So if you want to really motivate us to make some more stuff, we would love that if you check that out. Obviously, patreon.com/Some Nobodies. We got some weird stuff coming out soon. We have season 2 of our Create Your Own Pod Venture. Dylan's been working hard on that. So if you like choose your own path style stuff, this is gonna be a weird one and on the open seas. We also have we're still doing No Time to Binge. That show is getting great. Our podcast, our PowerPoint Showdown is popping, which is awesome. So we got a lot of cool stuff, guys, and we love some suggestions. So anytime you're watching us, listening, throw in a review, give us a chat. Like the smash button and all that other cool.
Improve our engagement stats. Come on.
Yeah, we like stats. Make these stats have to come up on PowerPoint Showdown just so we can brag about it. But either way, we appreciate you guys. Anybody, really, because we love attention. So check us out. Check out anything. Hydrate yourself. Be nice. Dylan Terry, do you have anything you'd like to say to anybody?
No.
Absolutely love it, my friend. All right, folks. Until next time, he has been Dylan. I have been Zach. But you've been great. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.